Welcome back to a new edition of the NSC Sports Weekly News. Now, in top global water sports, the very best the USS sailors meet in the thousands for Charleston Race Week. Caribbean racing spectacle for the Karujet Offshore World Championship in Guadalupe Island. AG2R Transat Mid-Atlantic update with Senior Correspondent Sebastien Destremau. Harvard Sailing's Juan Perdomo to lead at the Summer's Youth Olympic Games in China. VOR65 Alvimedica hits the water with a very special guest on board. NC Sports plunge into the action. Thousands of competitors and an army of over 300 volunteers tell the tale of this biggest regatta in the Western Hemisphere, as Charleston Race Week recently took center stage with top U.S. teams and helmsmen coming to South Carolina for the Spring Classic and some intense close-contact sailing. In light and often fading winds, Duet for Denmark had virtually no rivals in the J80s, posting 9 straight wins for an astonishing 21-point lead. J70s came in full force, and racing in the 80-strong fleet soon turned into a three-way battle between Superfecta, Hot Mess, and Scamp. Mike Ingham on 5-4-4-3 and Skip D-Ball on Rudy closed their 10 races on equal points after discard, with 5 wins giving Mike the top spot on the J24s. In the J22s, Aiden King and the Bathtub team posted the most wins and found a worthy adversary in the Torpedo crew, led by Arthur Libby. Melgis action saw the best U.S. teams on the water. Jason Mishas and Midnight Blue dominated the Melgis 20 by building a comfortable double-digit advantage on Section 16 and Bacho. Monsoon, Battle Rhythm, and Mojo were respectively the top contenders in the Melgis 24. Among the many cruiser, one design, and multi-hull classes, Charleston also featured several Corinthian and college divisions. An emotional and still bewildered Ugo Fidelin met the press on Plage de Viarbe following his victory at the Karujet UIM Offshore World Championship.
Je suis super content de ma première place.
I'm really happy with my first place. I tried to manage the race well, or at least as best I could. I also had some help from our compatriot from Martinique. He played the game well. Right now, I'm just gonna enjoy this World Championship title.
Bon, je vais savourer pleinement cette place de champion du monde, de première place de la Karujet.
The Caribbean island of Guadeloupe set the backdrop for this 17th edition of the event that gathered both the top pros and a number of talented and tenacious amateurs in the GP1 runabout class. Ugo battled his way to the top after 4 days and 5 grueling offshore legs on long and spectacular race courses. He was by no means a favorite, with many top-ranked pilots entering the battle and making victory all that more heartfelt. Completing the podium, local star Vincent Cam took the silver with just a minute and a half delay on Fidelin. And 24 minutes behind, Alain Tarzia closed with a bronze for France.
Welcome to the office. April is an intense month of racing in Brittany. A reference event in France, the Transat, is packed with sailing stars this year.
The Michel's Jean Le Cam and Roland Jourdain will cross swords with an army of young sailors determined to push them aside. The 30 men and women are among the very best, and more than half of the teams can win. However, one of the duos will not stand a chance. The trophy holder Cercle Vert loses her mast during the first night and must throw the towel. The second bad news on Friday, April 18, whilst in the lead, Thierry Chabani and Erwan Tabali send a message to the race director. Their gentleman has also lost her mast. Taking the gamble of the more direct route, some of the big names, including Michel Desjoyaux, are accepting their mistake. On April 20, the Trade Winds Highway has finally opened, and the Southerners take the lead at the midway point. The overall victory shouldn't escape a group of 6 boats led by General Lee. Each of them are positioned on a perpendicular line to the finish and are starting the last dash towards the West Indies.
Rendezvous next week, same time, same place. Until then, goodbye and fair sailing.
ISAF of the World's Sailing Authority recently announced that Harvard's Juan Perdomo was designated as athlete role model for the second Youth Olympic Games to be held this coming August in Nanjing, China. Part of an elite group of 28 experienced sailors, as an arm, Perdomo will play a key role in supporting, mentoring, and offering advice to the 100 athletes racing in 4 events across Jinyu Lake. Here's a report straight from Harvard Athletics.
Well, it means a lot. I guess what I'm most looking forward to is making sure that everybody feels comfortable, everybody feels like they're getting the most out of the event, and that that they not only enjoy the sailing, but the experience of being around other experienced athletes and talented sailors like themselves.
Born in Puerto Rico and living in Miami, Florida, Juan Carlos has left his mark at each passage. He was a top player in 2008 for the Optimus Team Racing World Championship title. Then in 2011, he bagged the Laser Standard Junior World Championships. And in 2013, he went on to conquer the ISAF World Championships on the Laser Radial. Today, he's bringing in the big scores for the Crimsons.
One of the best parts of being in Harvard are the friends you make, and that for sailors going to the Youth Olympics, the friends you make at the Youth Olympics are like one of the best parts.
The under-30s of Team Alvimedica have finally dipped their VOR65 on the water for the first time, completing the roster for the upcoming edition of the legendary Volvo Ocean Race. Last of 5 teams now training for the October start from Portugal's Alicante, the Americans have just started their training and also brought along a very special guest on board for a test drive.
It's a nice one, huh? What do you think?
Alvimedica's CEO, Cem Bozkurt, Turkey's largest medical device manufacturer, is here and in his words to shatter everything you know about executives sponsoring big money sailing programs. Daredevil rally driver in his days, and now team father figure, Cem has turned this young crew into his new extended family. With 3 years in the making and a huge adventure up ahead, the satisfaction for this first time at the wheel of the brand new VOR65 was simply unmistakable. Team Alvimedica is ready to take on the world. And for all surf fans out there, be sure to catch the men's action from the recent ASP Margaret River Pro in the next NC Sports Buzz, premiering this Saturday, only on Nautical Channel. Plunge into the action with NC Sports.